Good morning to you all, or should I say, good afternoon or good evening, or even good middle of the morning, because we've got delegates from all over the world joining us today for what's going to be, again, I think a marvellous range of presentations. Delegates as far afield as Australia, where they're just drifting into the peak of summer. Having lived there myself, I know just how hot those summers can be down there. So, welcome to everybody. It's great to have you all join in. Again, tremendous interest in this session, the second of the AJ's fire safety conferences. We had a packed agenda last year. The conversation has been taken on further this year, and I think there'll be much that's of rich interest to everybody listening through the day. We've got a broad range of major themes as well, an update from the HSE, fire testing and certification, which I think is of particular interest. I only recently learned quite how that process is done, and there'll be much that's of rich interest in there. Getting down to the nitty-gritty detail of buildings, balconies and handrails, terraces, also of great interest in the context of fire in terms of their detailing. And we'll be back on the very vexed question which troubles so many of you and me indeed, which is that of professional indemnity and the difficulties not only in meeting the huge hikes in premiums that it's been deemed necessary, but also the exclusions and exclusion clauses which can be so deeply troubling. During the day, we'll have a chat line running, so as Fiona Bruce says on question time, keep an eye on that and see what other delegates are thinking and saying and communicating as we go through the sessions. There'll also be a second tab on your screens, which is the swap card, and there you can ask questions, pose questions. I'll see them coming up on the screen to my right. And as those questions come rolling through, I'll try and group them and then use them for the 10 or 15-minute sessions that we have at the end of each presentation so that we can explore and interrogate what has been presented to us. So keep those questions rolling in. I won't be able to necessarily ask all of or present all of the questions that you send in, but I will try and group them into various themes as we come to the concluding part of each session. Before welcoming our first speakers, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Rockwool, Renault and Q Railing. Always so important to have sponsorship. Without them, these events wouldn't take place at all. Events are important to us, our careers, CPD and all the rest of it. You can get CPD points for this, but the sponsors absolutely critical. Visit their booths. They've got virtual booths here, and I think you'll find much of rich interest in there as well. So it's now a good 5 years since that terrible night on the 14th of June 2017, when television screens showed the awful events at the Grenfell Tower fire. The inquiry continues under Sir Martin Morbick's chairmanship. They are completing the phase 2 session of that inquiry. Recommendations will come after that. And so we wait to see the details of that second report. The first report was published probably some 2 years ago now. So that second report will be coming to drawing to a conclusion. But on the way, the key thing is we within the industry, and I'm talking about the whole industry, not just the design professionals, but the whole industry, have to continue building buildings and retrofitting buildings, maintaining buildings, and responding to the particular difficulties that have emerged in relation to fire and fire safety. And that, I think, is why the AJ conference, as I say, the second of them now underway today, is so absolutely important. It gives us a steer, a direction, and much needed help and guidance.